what was necessary.
You sabotaged the deal.
You left me no choice.
The entire office went silent when the CEO leaned back in her chair and made the challenge. "If you can prove me wrong," she said calmly, "I'll personally promote you." Everyone laughed. Because the person she was talking to wasn't a senior manager, a brilliant strategist, or one of the company's powerful executives. He was just a quiet single dad working in the logistics department. But when Daniel Carter looked up and accepted the bet, he added one simple condition that instantly changed the atmosphere in the room. "If I win," he said quietly, "you have to spend 1 week living the life I live." The executives laughed again. They thought it was harmless. They had no idea that one condition would completely change the CEO's view of success, leadership, and the men she had underestimated from the beginning. And by the time the week was over, the entire company would never see Daniel Carter the same way again. Daniel Carter's morning started long before sunrise. At 5 a.m., while most of the city was still asleep, he quietly stepped out of bed so he wouldn't wake his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Being a single father meant every day was carefully balanced. Breakfast needed to be made. School lunches packed. Homework checked. Laundry folded. Then there was the job. Daniel worked as a mid-level logistics coordinator at Brightcore Industries, one of the fastest-growing technology companies in the region. The company was run by Sophia Bennett, a brilliant but famously demanding CEO. Sophia believed in results above everything else. She respected intelligence, ambition, and bold thinking. What she didn't usually notice were people like Daniel. Quiet employees who did their work without seeking attention. Daniel never complained about it. After losing his wife in a sudden illness 5 years earlier, his entire world had narrowed down to 2 priorities. Providing for Lily. And making sure she grew up feeling loved. Every day followed the same exhausting pattern. Wake up early. Take Lily to school. Work all day. Pick her up. Cook dinner. Help with homework. Repeat. Despite the challenges, Daniel remained calm and focused. But inside the company, a major problem had been growing. Brightcore Industries had recently lost several large contracts due to shipping delays and logistical errors. During an important meeting one afternoon, Sophia stood at the head of the conference table, reviewing the latest reports. "These delays are unacceptable," she said firmly. Senior executives offered complex explanations and complicated solutions. But nothing seemed to actually solve the problem. Daniel sat quietly near the end of the table. He rarely spoke during these meetings. But today, something made him raise his hand. Sophia noticed immediately. "Yes." Daniel cleared his throat slightly. "I think the problem isn't the suppliers." The room went quiet. One of the senior managers raised an eyebrow. "Oh. And what is the problem, Daniel?" Daniel hesitated, but then continued. "The problem is the system we're using to track shipments. It looks efficient on paper, but it doesn't match how the real process works." Several executives exchanged skeptical glances. Sophia crossed her arms. "And you believe you can fix it?" Daniel nodded. "With a small change to the scheduling structure." One of the directors laughed. "We've spent millions on that system." Daniel didn't react. "I know," he said calmly. "But the problem isn't the system itself. It's how the teams interact with it." Sophia studied him carefully. "You're saying our executives are the problem?" Daniel shook his head. "I'm saying the system was designed by people who don't actually handle shipments." The room fell silent again. Sophia leaned back in her chair. "All right," she said slowly. "Let's make it interesting." Everyone looked at her. "If you can prove your idea works and solve the company's shipping delays in 30 days, I'll promote you." A few people chuckled. Sophia continued. "But if you fail, you'll transfer to night shift operations." The room buzzed with quiet whispers. It was a risky bet. Daniel thought for a moment. Then he said something that surprised everyone. "I accept." Sophia smiled slightly. "Good." But Daniel raised one finger. "I have one condition." Sophia looked curious. "What is it?" Daniel's voice remained calm. If I win, you have to spend 1 week living the life I live. The executives laughed immediately. Sophia tilted her head. That's your condition? Daniel nodded. Yes. Sophia extended her hand. Deal. But none of them realized yet that Daniel Carter's quiet life would soon become the most powerful lesson the CEO had ever experienced. Over the next month, Daniel worked quietly on his plan. He spent hours studying the shipping system, identifying the small mistakes that created massive delays. Instead of changing expensive software, he redesigned the communication process between departments. Within weeks, the delays began disappearing. Contracts returned. Costs dropped. The system worked. At the end of the 30 days, the results were undeniable. Daniel had solved the problem. Sophia stood in the same conference room where the bet had begun. You were right, she admitted. Then Daniel reminded her. You promised 1 week. Sophia smiled confidently. Of course. She thought it would be easy. But the first morning proved otherwise. Daniel's alarm rang at 5 a.m. Sophia groaned. Why so early? Daniel simply said, breakfast for Lily. Sophia spent the morning helping prepare lunchboxes, rushing through school drop-offs, and navigating the chaotic schedule Daniel handled every day before even arriving at work. By the third day, she was exhausted. One evening, while helping Lily with homework, Sophia looked at Daniel with new understanding. How do you do this every day? Daniel shrugged. You just keep going. That week changed something inside Sophia. For the first time, she saw the world beyond boardrooms and profit margins. She saw the strength of ordinary people balancing responsibilities no corporate strategy could measure. On the final day of the bet, Sophia called the entire company together. She stood beside Daniel in front of hundreds of employees. I built this company believing leadership meant making the smartest decisions, she said. But Daniel Carter reminded me that leadership also means understanding the people who make those decisions possible. Then she turned to Daniel. Effective immediately, Daniel Carter is our new director of operations. The room erupted in applause. But the most important moment happened later that night when Daniel returned home. Lily ran to him excitedly. Did you win the bet? Daniel smiled. Yes. She hugged him tightly. I knew you would. And in that quiet moment, Daniel realized something important. The greatest victory wasn't the promotion. It was proving that strength, kindness, and quiet determination could change even the most powerful minds.